Hello everyone and welcome to week 6 of my policies at work. My name is Amrinder Pal and I'm gonna present you the work policies of Bell Technical Solution. Uh, my previous company where I work as a field technician for 3 years. Before jumping to the policies in detail, I'm just gonna give you the brief overview of Bell Technical Solution. It's a subsidiary of the Bell Canada. The Bell Technical Solution Inc. specializes in installation of the Bell services that includes the home phone, internet, and the fiber TV. Actually, it's a fiber TV for that particular product. They choose that the name fiber TV. They do provide the services for residential and the business sector in majority Quebec and Ontario provinces, and it also offers training services as well. Bell Technical Solution Inc. was formerly known as Antroch Technology Solutions Inc. and it changed the name to Bell Technical Solution Inc. in October 2005. The company was founded in 1996 and it's based in Boucherville, Canada. Bell Technical Solution Inc. operates as a subsidiary of Bell Canada Inc. So let's talk about the policies. So as I work in Bell Technical Solution as a field telecommunication technician, so I'm not particularly familiar with internal policies of a company, but I have to follow some particular policies at work like presence at work, health and safety, Bell vehicle and driving policy, harassment in the workplace policy. So, and shortly we're gonna discuss in detail about those policies. So, presence at the work policy, the scope of this policy actually applies to all the Bell Technical Solutions employees and they're all personals considered to be employed by Bell Technical Solution and they must comply with it. The attendance of individuals working for the company as a contractor, consultant, or other shall be governed by the applicable work contract. So this policy's overview is particularly for the management of the attendance, and if any employee needs day off, he has to uh, communicate directly to the immediate supervisor and tell them the particular reason for the absence, and upon the agreement from the manager they, he or she can take off. If there are number number of lot more number of the absence, then they have to provide a particular reason, might be the written letter, or if they have any medical related they have to bring the doctor note as well. So in the attendance management there are few guideline principle they have to follow. For the company, they acknowledge the role of each employee's plays and the importance of each contribution within the company. So employees has to provide advice and support on employer provides advice and support on the attendance management to its manager through the human resource and industrial relation group, and make all the administration decision regarding attendance management in accordance with the applicable law, regulation, collective agreement, and the employment condition according to the circumstances for the each situation. So the manager is the first contact if we need a day off or if we are uh, absent from the work. So the journal objective is in order to promote effective attendance management. The Bell Technical Solution foster a safe, healthy work environment that is conducive to attendance, and taking into the account for two objective like prevention plan and the continuous management of occasional absence. In the prevention plan of the policy, they develop a plan for the employees in which they provide the tools and the prevention program to promote health and wellness, and they do provide training program that helps to maintain existing skill, or if anybody interested to obtain or acquire new ones, they are more than welcome. And another one is extended accident prevention program. So those programs particularly help to reduce the occupational diseases or injury, or any work related injuries like the back pain, slip and fall, or any kind of the injury. For the continuation management of the occasion absence by the immediate supervisor, which involves like immediate supervisor might be the your manager as well, or the regional manager. So we have to regularly verify the attendance with the manager. So if we are taking off from the day off from the work, then we have to directly direct connect communication with the manager and let him or her know that we are not coming. So the manager issues a uh, directive to be followed by the employees in event of occasional absence, and his manager handles all the situation effectively. If some employees are on the high frequency absenteeism, if if they are not following the proper procedure, so the manager have to take an action on those employees. So there are other factors in the disability cases. The effective management of a disability case are controlled by the disability management group in collaborative with the employees manager. So they ensure the fair and equitable application of the rule governing compensation plan in the event of illness related absence, or to reduce the occurrence of the absence. They develop intervention strategy based on the changing absence pattern within the company and the comparable market study. So the disability management group, they do provide the strategies to overcome these kind of absenteeism. So there are another guidelines and procedure which are available to all the employees on their online daily portal. So they can surf on the internet through the portal. They can complete their training module about the awareness, and they can get any detail information from there too. And in health and safety policy, the Bell ensure or try to build a healthy and safe environment for the employees all the time. So the Bell ensure a due diligence in its approach to meet or exceed all applicable work, health and safety law and the regulation. They identify and analyze the address health and safety hazards, and they do provide employee training to ensure adequate health and safety knowledge and competency. They regularly evaluate monitor and report the health and safety performance of the employees on regular basis. And because we are field technicians, so we have to follow our health and safety practice in the field as well. So for example, if we are at customer's place and for the service or our installation, so if we saw or if we feel that the environmental is not safe or it's not healthy, so it's our first right, so we can simply ignore or cancel that job. And before canceling the job, we have to notify the manager. If the workplace is not safe, or if you see it's unhealthy, so it's our right, we can cancel that work. But for that, we have to notify our managers about that. So they do provide a certain monthly basis training to aware employees all the time. Policy is Bell vehicle and driving policy. So in Bell vehicle policy, Bell vehicle policy governs the entire vehicle acquisition and the management process and the policies of the Bell Technical Solution. In particular, this policy provided detail of assignment of company vehicle, vehicle standard, use of company vehicle, and in accident reporting. So the sole purpose of this policy is to provide the clarity and the operational framework to ensure that employees are successful in meeting their specific objective with the Bell goal by working collaboratively. So this policy includes the vehicle standardization, preferred supplier selection, adherence to environmental regulation and safety of employee while using the company vehicle or company business audience. So in the Bell vehicle policy, we have to check that the vehicle is particularly safe for safe driving, safe for the driving out. If it's not safe, we can simply refuse and request for the another vehicle. So for the selection of the particular vehicle, it's based on the job functionality or territory. For the particular job like the commercial and residential, for the business oriented jobs, they have the particular dedicated truck or vans, and they differentiate the vans or the vehicles according to the territory as well. So all the vehicles are equipped with the tools and the feature assist an employee in performing their task, and equipped with the proper equipment, tools, and the equipment which we're gonna install to the customer. For the assignment of the company vehicle, the manager's responsibility is to ensure to check whether the employee is qualified to operate the vehicle which they are requesting, and if they have the valid provincial driving license. And manager must also ensure that vehicle information is accurate, such as the cost center, driver's identification, because all the vehicles are assigned with the driver's identification number, and they have the dedicated parking spots. So we have to park our dedicated vehicle after the work on that same parking spot. So if we are doing any kind of change, so we have to let the fleet coordinator know about any changes. The company vehicles standard, in order to optimize the fleet acquisition and fleet maintenance cost, so Bell develops a standard vehicle type for type from which the business unit will select the most suitable vehicle type for the job. And prior to vehicle replacement or vehicle addition, So the Bell Fleet Advisor review the need of the employees or with the fleet coordinator, then they proceed with the request. So there is a returning policy of the vehicle. So an employee who has assigned vehicle is based on his or her job assignment required to return vehicle if there some cases are applicable. So like the employer's job assignment no longer require a company vehicle, or if the employee has an unsatisfactory provincial driving record, like in case of the cancellation of license for that employee, or if employee retires or terminated, so then we have to return the dedicated vehicle to the fleet coordinator. The another policy under the vehicle, it's a use of the company vehicle. So these company vehicles are provided to employees to use for the company business, not for their personal use. Any another use constitute misappropriation, and the driver may incur both disciplinary measure and legal liability as well. So company for like if employee involved in an accident or the violation of legislation while driving company vehicle or for personal use as defined in the policy, then the consequences are company only assume the responsibility of the bodily injury and the property damages for the employees who drive the company vehicle. Unauthorized persons are not insured under the Bell vehicle insurance policy. Just only the driver of the company vehicle is insured in under the policies. Any employee charged with the violation of the criminal code or provincial act or municipal by law out of driving company vehicle shall assume fully responsibility for arranging his her own defense. So there is a use of company fuel card under the Bell vehicle policy. So the company provides the fuel card, so we can refill. It's employees' sole responsibility to refill the gas by using their dedicated fuel cards, and they have to track down uh, all the all the gas fills. If the fuel card must only be used for the company vehicle, not for their personal vehicle. So they can track all the gas consumption and the cost of the gas. If any employee they caught that he or she using the company fuel card to fill his or her own car, so there are consequences they have to follow. They have to go through the uh, direct meeting with the general regional managers and his or her manager. For the personal use of the company vehicle, commuting is defined as a travel time. So like from the workplace to the customer place, those times are we are using company's vehicle, not for the personal use. For the personal use, it's not considered Bell vehicles particularly not considered for the personal use. So the dedicated Bell vehicles just for the company uses. We are not allowed to use the company vehicle for our personal stuff. And they under the vehicle policy, they do provide the driving trainings on uh, regular basis. They provide health and safety, and they try to aware about the defensive driving techniques, and they do have a certain policy about the electronic toll routes. So all the company vehicles are not allowed to go to the electronic toll routes. So if any employee got into the situation, so if he or she accidentally go to, so they have to justify their trip with the manager. So there is another policy for the vehicle, like if we got a ticket in towaway zone, parking, speeding and other violation, so it's a sole responsibility of the driver of that particular vehicle who is driving. It's his or her responsibility to comply with the municipal bylaw or the provincial legislation governing the use of the motor vehicle. So employee will be responsible in all the cases if he jump the red light camera, if he's overspeed, if he got a ticket in tow away zone. And even though the Bell vehicles are equipped with the GPS, so if any employee exceed the posted speed limit, so they get log from those GPS tracking device. And there are consequences for that. If that particular employees keep on doing those speeding or reckless driving stuff, so they got logged for those. For the accident reporting under the policies, employee is responsible to report all the motor vehicle accident that occur while conducting company business, whether these accidents occur in the company vehicle or in personal vehicle during the business hour. So we have to report all the accident to the manager. Uh, that's pretty much for the Bell vehicles policy. And now we're gonna move on the harassment in the workplace policies. Let's talk about harassment in the workplace policy. So every employee working at the Bell Technical Solution has the right to work in the environment that is free from any kind of harassment that attacks his or her physical or psychological integrity. So first of all, what is the harassment? So harassment can be defined as any physical, visual or verbal behavior that attack the physical or psychological integrity of the individual. So if any employees ever got into the situation of the harassment, so there are some certain complaint process. So in general, depending upon the circumstances, the person being harassed must try to handle the situation in the manner like he or she can ask the person to stop, talk to the supervisor for that person, and ask the intervention of the colleague. So prior to any formal complaint, an employee should always try to talk to his or her manager first. If the manager is not available to deal those situations, then we can proceed with the formal complaint process in order to resolve the problem. So accordingly, additionally, like all employees should feel comfortable in discussing any problem with another manager, be it so be it in human resource or a regional manager or a general manager before initiating the formal complaint process. So like if the normal complaint is not resolved, then we can uh, follow the formal complaint procedure. So to follow the formal complaint procedure, we have to submit our complaint in writing to our manager in the envelope, and it should be labeled as the confidential, and then it's manager responsibility to respond within 10 days of the complaint directed by uh, complaint by employee, and the manager should be directed to the person to whom he or she report. And if the employee is not satisfied with the resolution presented by the manager investigation the situation, then employee can submit the complaint in writing to the regional manager, and again the regional manager will respond in writing within 10 days. So all the formal complaints that complete report to be submitted director of human resources. Any inquiry will be launched and the complaint will be managed is in a very confidential manner. So they took the action to ensure that situation will stop. Any employee who has violated Bell Technical Solution harassment policy, uh, he or she will be subject to discipline up to including the termination. It depends the intensity of the harassment. So that's our pretty much for the harassment policy. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy my presentation. Have a good day. Bye guys.